Hey guys, welcome to our team girls night book club. I gotta mute some of you guys, you're loud. Super excited to talk about the personal development books that you've been reading, or podcasts you've been listening to. But first I want to see your nails. Mine are naked. I'm gonna be applying some now. Oh my gosh, Christy, yours are pretty. Let me see. Okay, I unmuted you, Christy. Wait. It's not unmuting.
Am I muted?
There. What? So tell me what you're wearing. You have a fun combo.
It is that, I'm horrible. I don't remember the Valentine's name.
Is that the Vegas?
Vixen? Vegas something.
Vegas
No.
something.
And then the red glitter.
Ooh, I like.
Yeah.
Give me some inspo because I'm going to be putting nails on right now. Okay, let me see yours, Stacy. Was that Southern Belle? What is that? Wait, you're muted. There you go.
Oh, it's Southern Belle.
Okay, show it closer. I can't see very well. Those are so pretty. I had those on.
They're like my faves.
A week ago. Emily, show us. Oh, look at Emily's. She's got like a good combo. What is that? You got Haruku hearts or whatever. And what else?
Oh, it has on the
Oh, you got the Olympic ones.
Yeah, I did them tonight at dance.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah, they're fun. It was my first time with Frost, but yeah, I really like them.
Oh, those are way fun. I love the patriotic look. Okay, Kathy, do you have your nails done?
No, I don't. I took them off.
The shame, I know. It's like you take them on off. Yeah. That's what, too bad you're in your car, but you could still do it while you're in your car.
Now I'm driving.
Oh, yeah. Don't apply and drive. Not recommended. Anyone else want to show me? What are you wearing, Denise? Here, I'll unmute.
Okay, but I don't see my picture.
I see it. Oh, those are pretty nails. Those look good. I've been wanting to do those, and I never have. Those look good. Those are the... Can somebody pronounce the name? Because I sure can't.
Harajuku.
Harajuku. Good job, Stace. Anyone else want to show off your nails real quick? All right, well, we're going to get started. So how this works, if you've never been to one of our audiobook clubs, I changed the name to Audiobook Club because I know a lot of people kept saying, I don't have time to read. And I'm like, no. You don't read, you listen. Like you listen to a podcast or a book on Audible, or you know what I mean? You don't have to read because really it is tricky to find time to read, especially if you're like a busy mom or something. So I get in all my reading like on Audible, and I just listen when I'm working out or when I'm getting ready for the day or driving or cooking. Like there's lots of little windows of time that you can find time to just listen. So, so everyone in this group, we're just going to be, I used to say like we were going to discuss one book, but I'm kind of making it this year in 2018, just everyone kind of bring to the table whatever you're reading, whatever you listen to, and share what you learned. And that way we can all get inspiration for ideas on what to read next, what to listen to next. And that way you're not like, you don't have to read a certain book and all that. So anyways, the book that I have been listening to and I am loving, in fact, on my vision board, one of my goals is to listen to all of Brene Brown's books because she is an amazing author. Raise your hand if you've ever read any of Brene Brown's books. Have any of you guys read any of her books, like The Power of Vulnerability or Daring Greatly or anything?
I'm listening to Daring Greatly right now.
Yeah, it's so good. That's what I have been listening to as well. And her books, I think the reason I love them so much is because like she hits some like hard topics. She goes deep and she talks about relationships, which I feel like sometimes we overlook that. You know, we don't know why we're frustrated, why we're feeling insecure or inadequate or whatever. And then when we really like start analyzing and seeing where, you know, certain relationships are lacking, at least for me, I've noticed that when I improve relationships, whether it's with my husband, my kids, my, you know, parents or whatever, or even my customers and my team, that I feel better about myself. So anyway, that was one of my goals, was to read all of her books this year. I started on Daring Greatly, like Stacy, and I'm really loving it because she talks a lot about vulnerability. So I'll just share a few things about it, and then I'm going to turn the time over to you guys. So please be brave and share something that you've learned in a book you've listened to, or an article you've read, or a podcast, or whatever. But some of the things that she shared is just like how being vulnerable builds relationships. And it's so true. Like, I know that when I see someone do a post, and here's the funny thing, guys, is that those are the scariest posts to do. Those are the scariest posts to put out there, is when you talk about something that's hard, something that is not very glamorous in your life, because we feel like, oh my gosh, we're going to be judged, right? But those are also the posts that people connect with the most, because especially the way that social media is nowadays, like everybody is always posting their highlight reels of like, oh, hey, here's this little glimpse of my perfect life, right? But it's like, nobody has a perfect life. We all have struggles. We're all going through something. And so when you share those things, people connect with you more. And so I've been really trying to share more, just be vulnerable and real about whatever I'm going through, so that other people don't just be like, oh, well, you know, everything works out for Kelly, so I don't really connect with her because that's not me. That's not my life. Because like I said, we're all going through something. So she just talked about the importance of like being vulnerable and sharing, you know, those real things. And one story that stood out to me was just owning up to your mistakes and like connecting. So she shared an example of how and I told this story to my husband yesterday, because actually he had a similar, I mean, he got into an argument with someone, and I was like, well, here's a story that she shared. So someone asked her to be a speaker, and she declined because she was going to, she had a family birthday that she wanted to attend. And so, hang on, I'm going to mute you all. Anyway, so she declined, and the person replied to the email and was super rude to her. And she was like, seriously, like, are you like really going to be that mean to me? And so she forwarded it to her husband, and she said, she cursed and was like saying all this stuff about the man that was being rude to her. And instead of forwarding it, she clicked reply. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I did that. That was so stupid of me. And her husband, she was like, she said she had to learn to just own it, like own the mistake. And also to go to people instead of just like shaming herself for doing, you know, making a mistake, because we all do dumb stuff like that, right? And she said instead she had to own it. So she replied to the man and apologized, and he was still rude to her. But then she also went to like her support group for support, and she talked to her husband, and she talked to her best friend and told them, you know, what a dumb mistake she had made. And they were like, you know what, girl, like, I've done stuff like that too, and it's okay. And they showed empathy, which is something she also talks about a lot in her books. And she talks about how important that is, you know, to show compassion and empathy with others. And she just said, like, that helped her get through it, was having that support group. So anyway, so I told my husband about that, and I loved that story, I guess, because, it's important to have a support group. And I feel like our team is a really great support group because, I feel like everyone's so helpful. And when we do have those frustrating days, like everyone's kind of encouraging. And so anyway, that was one of the things that stood out to me in her book. I'm sure I'll think of more, but I'm going to turn the time over to some of you guys. Does anyone want to share? Stacy, I'm going to ask you, since we're on that topic of Daring Greatly, what were some of the things that stood out to you in that book?
Well, I just started that book.
Okay.
So I actually, on the way home, heard that story that you just mentioned.
Oh, yeah?
That was, yeah. So I'm only 5 chapters into it.
Okay.
But the fact that, whatever you do, you're enough. And the difference between shaming yourself and guilty statements towards yourself. So
yes. Yeah, she kind of defined guilt and shame, and I loved it. She said, guilt is good for you. Guilt is where you're like, oh my gosh, I feel really bad because I made a bad choice. But shame is like, I am a bad person because of that. And so she said, guilt is good. It's okay to feel guilt, but don't shame yourself and don't shame others, because that is not productive. That does not help anyone.
yeah, you can turn guilt around to be positive. You can make that positive to learn from it, whereas shame is who you are as a person, and that's not a good way to talk about yourself to yourself or to other people.
Yeah, and I love how she used the visual of gremlins. How I used to call them brain bullies. We have this brain bully. We have a in our head that's kind of says these things that are that's oh, you're not good enough. Or, I kind of posted about this in the team today where you're oh, I'm just not organized, or I'm just not doing enough, or I just can't seem to get any sales this month or whatever. We have those, she calls them gremlins. And I really liked that visual because it's not us saying that. Those are just negative thoughts that we have to kick those gremlins out and, go to our support group or, talk back to the gremlins and be no. I am good enough. And I can do this, and it's okay not to be perfect. She talked a lot about how women are extremely hard on themselves, which is so true.
Yeah, I just finished another book that's the bad word yourself, has an F word.
Un-F yourself, yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of talks about the same thing, is that the only thing that you can be when we get in our head and we get upset is because we're dealing with uncertainty. But really the only thing, and we're striving for certainty, but the only thing that can be certain in life is the fact that everything is uncertain. So when you get over having to have everything, be certain about how everything turns out, you can start doing your actions to get past your own self-doubt and self-guilt, because everyone's uncertain. It's not just you trying for certain. Everyone's trying to be certain in something, in some regard.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, you got to start sloppy, huh? Okay, so does anyone else want to share? Do you have anything else to say, Stace?
I was on this huge Tony Robbins kick last week. I watched all these YouTubes.
Okay, tell us.
Well,
because I didn't get a chance to watch that one.
Oh, okay. Well, it was talking about the new year, and that on the 15th of January, pretty much all of these resolutions we give up. And most of the people give them up. But he was saying that it's not about resolutions and not turning over the first of the year, but it's more about what standards you hold yourself to. What are your musts in life? It's not oh, I should do this, because shoulds never happen. It's never what you should do, because you don't end up doing the shoulds. You do the must, what you must do. For example, if you're an athlete, you must go to practice every day. When I was a swimmer, the practice every day for 2.5 hours wasn't something you thought about or wasn't something you thought you should do. It was just what you did. And you need to look at your life and look at what your musts are and then look at your routines that support those musts. So every must you have has a routine behind it. For example, I am a swimmer. My routine behind it was that I went to 2 practices every day, 5 days a week. So in other parts of our life, for example, Color Street is I'm a senior executive. So what does that mean? That means I must be an example to my team. So what must I do? I went and booked 6 parties before the 6th for the month. That's my routine. So things like that. Look at what your musts are, what you must have in your life, and then look at what you do, your actions that support it.
I love that. I think I've been thinking about it a lot, and I really think, especially with direct selling and with anything, with this, the key to success to anything is consistency. That's the freaking hard part, right? Like showing up every day, showing up for Color Street every day, showing up for, or like staying consistent with your, like eating healthy or working out. Like that's the hard part. And that's the part that it's like, but yeah, it's like you have to like pick yourself up when you fall and keep going. When you skip a day, when you skip a week, when you fall off the bandwagon.
Yeah, so our routines are the consistency for our musts. So.
Yeah, it's really all about what you do every day. Okay, anyone else want to share what books or podcasts or things you've been listening to lately? Shannon, I'm going to call you out, girl. I know you've been working on this. Have you been reading any personal development lately? Let me unmute you.
Okay, there. I think I did it. I'm listening. I'm just finishing up the Get Over Your Damn Self.
Okay.
So that one's been really good for me because I have a fear of reaching out to people, friends, even people that I don't know, because I'm afraid of what they're going to think because I have done other direct sales. And so she just kept hitting the point that if I don't reach out to them, somebody else is going to reach out to them. And I'm going to be pissed when they're doing it with somebody else or buying it from somebody else. So
that is so true.
I've gotten from that book.
That is so true. I know there have been a couple people join the team that I should have reached out to. So it's like, it's just inevitable.
Yeah, I think it's just the direct sales marketing has such a stigma on it. And so I'm afraid of reaching out to people. But the people that I have reached out to have been super nice about it and, or they just don't say anything. So right. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, so, but at least you go for no.
Yes.
I think that's the key. That's another really good book. It's called Go for No. It's just talks about like just getting used to, just being okay with people saying no, because the key is that you're planting the seed and you're like asking. So like,
yeah,
shoot for like 100 no's a month, or you know what I mean? Make that a part of your goals.
Yeah, and unless they tell you, no, leave me alone, she kept saying it might just not be the right time. So unless they say, no, I don't want you to call me again or text me again, you're just, asking them or, well, I'm going to stay, see if you still want to do it in a month or, that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, someone mentioned no is actually not right now.
It really is.
Right, Emily?
I know. I was like, I know there's examples. Like my sister, she was like, I talked to her about it at the beginning. She was like, no. And now, and then she jumped in like 3 or 4 months later. So really it's all about timing.
Yeah, I kicked myself. I was there in June and she was like, dude, you got to do this. And I was like, I don't have time. And now look at me.
And now here you are.
Yep.
Okay, Kelly, I've got a book.
Okay, what's that, Hillary?
It's Building an Empire.
Ooh.
The most complete, what is it called? The Most Complete Blueprint to Building a Massive Network Marketing Business by Brian Carruthers.
Ooh, Ryan, what?
Brian Carruthers. Can you see that? Not really. Anyway, it's great. Building an Empire. And I've listened to it twice now, and it's phenomenal. Very good. Very good information. Just about the one thing that really stuck with me is that he talked about real estate. He came from real estate, and his dad was a broker, and he and his brother were realtors. And his dad finally sold his business to Merrill Lynch, I think. But then his brother became a broker, and his brother made 10 times more than he did because he was the broker and had all these people working for him. And so when people say, well, I'm not really crazy about that MLM thing, I don't think it's good, or I don't think it's honest or whatever, you know, it's just like being a real estate broker. You have people working for you, and you're taking a very, very small percentage of that work, or of their income revenue.
Uh-huh.
But you're working in turn as well. And
Right.
so, you know, that's kind of a really good answer. It's like, well, being a real estate broker is not bad or illegal or frowned upon or whatever. And he's like, once I figured that out, I was like, man, I am doing this wrong. And I need, you know, he didn't want to do network marketing, but then he's like, yeah, maybe I do. And he's a million times over, you know, like millions of dollars over.
Wow.
Anyway, it was really, really good. I liked it a lot. Learned a lot.
Yeah, that's funny. I once heard a girl talk about how, well, okay, so for example, my husband actually got recruited. He had someone reach out to him and try to recruit him to do a banking job. And my husband, instead of being like insulted, my husband was like so flattered. And like, there are people that get paid to recruit other people to jobs, right? Or to schools. Like, that is a legit job. So sometimes I think that if we had that mindset of like, okay, I am, not only do I sell nails, but I'm a recruiter. And like, you're offering the opportunity, and they can either say yes or no. I mean, my husband was super flattered and seriously considered it. He didn't end up doing it, but like, oftentimes people, you're just asking them. And again, they might say no, and that's okay, but it's a no for now. But I think we just have to sort of change our mindset, like you were saying, Hillary. Oh, you're muted. There you go.
The keys.
Wait, now you're muted. I can't unmute you.
Hang on.
There.
Mute myself. Okay. Am I good? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. And then another one that I listened to, you mentioned it, was the Go for No.
Uh-huh.
Go for No network for network marketing. And I did that with my, our team is doing we did 6 parties by the 6th, book 6 parties by the 6th promo.
Mm-hmm.
And I got on my phone and I just texted people. I think I texted 18 people, and I got 7 yeses, but I got, you know, like 9, maybe 9 no's, and a couple people didn't say anything. So, you know, it's like, I'm going for the no, because if I go for the no, at least somebody's going to say yes.
Yeah.
Remember, Sherry McAllister said 1 out of 5 will say yes to a party.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So if you want 6 parties, then you're going to have to ask 30 people.
Right.
Or 18. You got pretty lucky, Hillary.
I did get lucky. I got really lucky.
I asked like 10 and only 2 or 3. I think 3. I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They go for no. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being told no. It's not you that they're saying no to. It's that they're not interested in your product, or they're just not a party person. Like, I've done so many multi-level companies, direct sales, network marketing, whatever you want to call them. And so when Stephanie came to me with this, I just thought, oh. I told myself I would never do another one again. And then she's, but it's nail polish. And I said, wait, what? Okay. maybe let's talk about this. And of course, I jumped right in, but I'm not the party person. I got so burned out on that. And it's like, somebody asked me if I would do doTERRA. I'm like, no, I don't do parties. And so I get it. But that doesn't mean people can't change, because I did.
Yep. And I mean, I think there's a difference between like in person versus, I mean, some people would love to do it in person and some people would love to do a Facebook, like,
Yeah. Well, I only got one in-person party. The rest of them are Facebook. They're like, what do I have to do? And I said, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. And you just get to talk to your people and you don't have to dress up, no food, nothing. I do it all. It's like, it's so easy to do a Facebook party. And if it's a bust, it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
Nobody's embarrassed. Nobody's, got tons of food left over. And so it's easy.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you. I know that book is just, book really changed my perspective. I feel like all new stylists need to listen to it, because often, like, when you're new and you like ask and you're like, oh my gosh, all these people said no, I'm a failure, right? You like think it's you and you think they're saying no to you and they hate you and you are a failure. And it's like, no. It's a numbers game. You just got to ask a lot of people, So, okay, who else wants to share? I'm going to call you out if you don't share. I know more of you have read stuff. I know you have.
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay, so I have two. I always listen to podcasts while I'm in the shower. And I always listen to Gold Digger with Jenna Kutcher. And today she talked about the 5 lessons she's learned from Joanna Gaines. And it was pretty much talking about how Joanna built a brand around her and how girls think she's their best friend, even though she doesn't even know us.
Right.
Talked about that for like building a brand for our business. And like, we sell Color Street, but we aren't Color Street, kind of like how the new change has come, how we have to get rid of the Color Street name in our VIP groups and everything. So just learning how to build a brand, but for people to love us, to fall in love with the nails and want to buy or sell nails with us. And then also I'm rereading Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert.
I've never read it, but I heard it's amazing.
I read halfway through it and then I stopped years ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm rereading it because I'm struggling in the creative area. And like what page? 19. I even put it on it's backwards, but I even put it on my letterboard. It says, fear is boring. Because been struggling every year. I'm like, I'm this age. I should be like, this is not what I pictured my life to be at this age. It should be like this. And so like I had a breakdown all week, which is fine. And so like with fear is boring, just saying like fear never changes. I'm going to read fear becomes boring to me. Let's see, where'd it go? I noticed that my fear never changes, never delights, never offered a surprise, twist, or unexpected ending. And it's just like, fear is kind of boring. Like, if you're always afraid, life is going to be boring. So just trying to get that in my head for like, building my team and everything like that.
Yeah, for getting out of your comfort zone. I love that because if you stay in your comfort zone, I was just lecturing my daughter on this. I'm like, if you stay in your comfort zone, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to progress. Like it's out here, out of the comfort zone where we grow and just like become such a better person, become the person we want to be. So I love that. That's such an awesome quote. What else did she say that I'm intrigued? What else did she say that Joanna Gaines did?
Really, like she kind of keeps her life private, but we feel like we know her. And like when we see things, like went to Hobby Lobby the other day and it looked like Joanna Gaines threw up everywhere because like Modern Farmhouse is like big now because of Joanna Gaines. And like, so when you see something, you think of her. And so just like that kind of stuff.
Ooh, yeah. Like if you have a brand that is like, okay, for example, so I used to run a photography business and I had an Eiffel Tower because my last name is France. I had an Eiffel Tower in my icon, like in my logo. And so people would always message me and be like, oh my gosh, I just saw the cutest Eiffel Tower at, Hobby Lobby or wherever. And they're like, oh, you should get this, or look at these Eiffel Tower pants, or look at, you know what I mean? When people like can attach something to you. So for like branding, for example, if you, for your brand, here's a little tip for you all. It just popped in my head. Been meaning to do a video on this. For personal branding, you want to come up with your five things, right? What's your thing? Your thing is like the things you talk about. So maybe you love coffee. So you post coffee mugs with your nail fees all the time, right? And then when people go to Starbucks or whatever, they're like, oh my gosh, Amy would love this drink. You know what I mean? Or maybe you're like super into cats or like leopard print. Okay, so here's an example. Like Amanda Yoakum loves leopard print. Every time I am at the store, I'm like, Amanda would love this. Oh my gosh, Amanda would love. You know what I mean? So you almost like let people know, like, okay, guys, you know that I'm obsessed with cats, coffee, leopard print, like whatever it is. Maybe you redo furniture like Rachel Hoover, or you know what I mean? Like just if you sort of find your quirks and talk about those things on social media a lot, people are going to associate your quirks, your hobbies with those things and be like, oh my gosh, I love her because, I love leopard print too, or I love cats too, or whatever. So finding your 5 things that you talk about on social media, that really helps to brand you so people can get to know you and connect with you with those things. And anyway, it makes you relatable, So sorry, went on a little tangent there, but it's a really good way to brand yourself. And I feel like Joanna Gaines has definitely done that. And I've seen some of you guys doing that really well too.
Kelly, do you have any exercises to help someone get to their 5 things? Do you have like any kind of like like trainings or exercises to help people discover their 5 things?
That's a good question. What if you did a post, just like a word post on social media, and be like, when you think of me, or comment below with the first word that comes to mind when you think of me, and see like what people say. You'll be surprised. They might associate with you with something totally that you're like, oh, I did not think that people, you know what I mean? So that's one way, is just ask your audience. I've done that before, and that's really helped. Anyone have any other suggestions? I think really it's the things that you just love to talk about, things you could talk about nonstop, like whether, maybe it's decorating, maybe it's momming, maybe it's, parenting, whatever it is, like fitness, fashion, fun, food, like, you know what I mean? Find your thing and talk it up. And talk about it a lot. People are going to connect with you that way. All right. Who else wants to share? We have like 4 minutes, so probably time for 1, maybe 2 more. Anyone else listen to any awesome? I love that you listen in the shower, Christy. That's awesome. You can get those like shower speakers. Brilliant.
Yeah, like I can't get distracted while I'm in the shower, so I can listen.
Yeah, I got a little speaker that was like $10 at like TJ Maxx or something, that goes in the shower and just hangs over the shower hook, and then charges by, because I do the same thing. I listen in the shower. And other thing I do that's really weird, that someone told me is weird, and I don't know if it is, but I listen to everything like at 1 and 20 1.25%, like, so it talks faster, because maybe that's because I talk fast. I don't know, but like I listen to it faster, so I get through books faster.
That's smart. I like that. I'm going to start doing that. You do talk fast, Stacey. Okay, who else? We have 3 minutes. Someone share like a really quick nugget of wisdom you got from a book or podcast or even a YouTube video that you listened to.
Mine's not from a video, but mine's just from experience.
Okay.
When I get nervous or scared about the business, I just think of what is going to be, because my friend came to my door like 7 years ago with doTERRA, and I am literally kicking my butt constantly for not starting when she did. The company was not even a year old, and it has just boomed. And I love the products and I use the products constantly, but I was just too scared and busy. And so I just don't want to use those excuses again for this one. So I think just a little nugget is don't be scared and do it, because what can be is amazing.
Yes. Amen. I just got chills. Good job, Shannon. I have a quote that reminds me of a quote from, I'm trying to remember if it was the 5-second rule. I wrote it down. It's from, it's from Mark. It was from, I think it's from Get Over Your Damn Self. And it's a quote by Mark Cuban, and it said, "Work like there is someone working 24 hours a day to take it away from you." I loved that quote because I was like, there's girls hustling in Color Street. And so we got to keep up.
Get over your damn self.
Yeah.
That's the book it's out of. Get over your damn self.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, guys, there's some girls that are on fire, and they got big goals, and they got a powerful why, and they're not letting anything get in their way. So we got to be consistent, like we were talking about, and brand ourselves, go for no, and get vulnerable, and we're going to rock our business. I'm super excited for this year. So, okay, I'm excited. We're going to meet up in a month and discuss some more books we've been reading. So continue reading, you guys, because this really, really helps you stay motivated, inspired, and just confident to do the work and to make your goals happen. So thanks all of you for joining me. And if you're a team leader or above, join. We have a presidential founder speaker is going to be talking to us in 5 minutes. So I'll post that in the team leader group right now. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.